Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. What are we building today? Well, we live in a technically digital fancy age. Cell phones and watches and tablets and all of that. And what that creates is a big pot of spaghetti when it comes time to charge all of these things. We, wifey Pooh and I, like most people, charge these things while we're sleeping. I have a nice Caddy, if you will. One of my sons bought it for me, and it charges my watch and my phone. I don't like the design of it because the phone part of it doesn't work. So, but the wifey Pooh side of the bed, mercy sakes alive, you go in there and you're gonna get tangled up into a nightmare. So my goal for today is to sort of redesign what I have and make it better, but for her. So I drew up some plans, and when I say I drew up some plans, I mean literally, I drew up some plans. Um, some of it I have drawn out, some of it I'm just kind of gonna wing as we go. But let's get started. The biggest thing I'm gonna run into. This is the watch charger, and I don't have a problem as far as space. I don't have a drill bit that's exactly that size. From what I can see, it's like 1 and 3/32. I don't have a bit that big. So I'm going to go with 1 1/8 and sand it till it drops in. If you're going to do this, something you need to keep in mind is if you drill the hole all the way through, well, that's going to go, gimme, that's going to go all the way through also. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind. I think mine is actually tapered. So it's a tapered fit in, but I don't have a means to do that, so we're not going to do that. Basically, what we need to do is just get after it. Okay, that's what we need to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill the hole for the watch charger because I don't want to be holding a little tiny piece trying to get a Forstner bit through it. What I'm making this out of is scraps. My goal over the next month or so is to try and get rid of as many of my scraps as I can because they're too good to throw away. But when are you going to use them? Well, I don't want to move them, basically. So I'm going to, and these all were up here. You know, that's where scraps also go to die in my shop. So I'm going to start by drilling the hole for the watch charger. Then I can cut that to length and then figure out how we're actually going to make it stay put because it's going to be elevated and cantilevered and it's going to fall apart. So I'm going to drill mine so that the charger actually sits just a little bit proud of the top of the charging stand. The other complaint that I have on mine is that it's sometimes it sinks below flush and it won't connect. So I'm trying to fix for hers everything that's wrong with mine. Okay, so I don't know. I thought that that would be snug and I'd have to sand it to fit, and as it turns out, it's actually a little bit sloppy in there. Not horrible. Well, let's make it nice, right? Now, it could be a couple different reasons for that. One, probably most likely, is that my drill bits are from Harbor Freight, and it's not even the good ones. It's the cheap ones. They're like the worst you could buy. That's the ones I got. So I'm going to drill another one at 1 inch and see what that looks like. And I'll meet you back here whenever we're done and see if I failed miserably or if it's going to work. Okay, after further review, I don't know. 1 inch, drilling a hole 1 inch. Obviously, I knew it wasn't going to fit, but I said, that's okay. I'll sand it till it does. But remember, I'm not drilling all the way through. So that's going to be a nightmare. I'm just going to go ahead and let it be 1 1/8 and let it be a little bit sloppy because it'll be fine. Okay. And it's cold out here. And there's a hockey game at 3 o'clock that I actually get to watch. So let's just get this done, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I need to cut my length on this, which in my drawing is incorrect. That's why we do drawings, right? So here's what that's going to look like. Okay, watch is going to set in there. It's going to hang on the charger and it'll work better. Now, it's not going to be that tall. I heard you. I know you said, what a moron. Why is it going to be that tall? I'm making a lamp out of it, okay? No, I'm sorry. It's cold. I'm sorry. Now, that piece is done. Now I got to decide how tall I want this thing. I'm thinking inch to something. Let's do 2 inches. Okay. Let's do 2 inches. That's what happens when you don't actually give a measurement to part of your drawing. Coffee. Which is turning cold quick. I never planed the back side of these after I cut them down. And to be honest with you, I don't care. I'll sand them all up before we put it together because I don't want to have to clean off my planer. Yeah, the red thing in the back is the planer. So we're not going to clean the planer off. We'll sand it flat. Okay, so that's my 2 pieces. Okay. That's what that's going to look like. That's going to set on a base that is going to be 5 inches. Okay, this thing's almost done already. Now, that's going to set like that. Okay, and the hardest part of this is lining this up. So it's not even that hard. Boop. Now I know that that is going to go there. No measuring needed. That is not, okay, no, that's how I planned it. That is going to set there. And the watch will hang there. Perfect. Now, what are we going to do with this? Okay, I'm glad you asked. That should leave me approximately 2 inches. Like I said, that's going to leave me 2 3/4 inches. But I measured the cell phone, and she has exactly the same phone as I do, and it's 3 inches. I'm going to make it narrower than what it is. Now I need to make the bed, so to speak, that the phone is going to set on. Oh, friends, it's not getting warm in here at all. Okay, this is going to be, I didn't measure the length. Huh, you're on my phone. Let me come around there and take a look. Excuse my hand. About 6 inches, okay. Well, this thing clearly does not have to be 6 inches. So I'm going to make it 4 inches. I need 2 of those like that. What I need, oh man, all of my glue is frozen. They say don't let your glue freeze. I did. Oh boy. That's not coming out of the bottle. How about you? How about, oh, this is still squishy. Friends, I'm not a professional woodworker here, okay? Do I even want to bother clamping this? Are you coming out? What I'm trying to say is that my shop is not heated 365. And so glue is going to get yucky sometimes. You just sit here and think about that. We'll figure out clamping. Where you at? Did you come down the side yet? Maybe we're not gluing this together. Maybe we're just going to duct tape it together. Okay, so I'm impatient. Oh, it hasn't even tried. Hasn't even tried. Got it. Friends, how many times have I told you don't do what I do? This isn't a teaching channel, okay? Is it going to work? I have no idea. Clamped. That actually might work. We're going to set this aside to clamp, not on top of coffee though. Oh, we're dripping. Oh no. This will be a good frozen glue experiment. All right, what I'm going to do, I need to get a groove in there, get my groove on. And there's a couple different ways you could do this. I'm probably going to pick the worst. Roto zip for all your roto zipping needs. That's what I'm going to try. Let me get it set up. That blade's junk, so that's not going to work, which means I have to find a new plan. We're going to go old school. I'm not cutting all the way across the piece, and that's going to, I don't know. I do need a little bit more thickness. I wonder if I can run a chisel over that. Let us be finding out. So I've just been sitting here thinking about the lack of the right size drill bit that I need, and of course, poor life choices. The 1 1/8 is way too big. It's too sloppy in there. The idea is that this thing sits still in there. So I've resorted to some fairly archaic ways of doing things. I busted out the Dremel with, I don't know, a spiral grinding something. I've drawn the outer diameter, and I'm going to try and get up to that so that it fits nice and snug, and then we'll see how it goes. Low. Now let's go high. Ha. Okay. I put a little sanding drum thing on there, and it seemed to do pretty good. And now, if we throw this around, it fits in there. And once I get that groove cut for that, which I want to cut a little bit better than I did on the first one, that should be great. So now, hey, we got this Dremel thing out. Let's see if we can, I don't know, find a way to make that fit. We'll see what happens. Oh, by the way, if you're going to use the sanding drum thing on your Dremel, don't put it on high. It smokes like a bad cigar. Little tip from me to you. Okay, so there's the hole. Decided to drill a hole in the bottom because while it fits snug, which is what I wanted it to do. So if you ever need to just, you know, pop that out, there you go. The wire fits. A lot of Dremel work Remember that sanding thing that I got from Temu? I found a use for it. Imagine that. All right, let me get this glued up. I might use a pin nailer because these are all going to be end grain to long grain. So I might pin nail it. And on the one that I got from the sushi shop, it's from Taiwan, is all pin nailed together. It's bamboo pin nailed together. You guys have seen that stuff, pin nailed bamboo, you know. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sand this a little bit better, get my compressor fired up, find my pin nailer because I have no idea where it's at, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the microphone may have cut out. So this is where I'm at right now. I got it pin nailed in place, glued with kind of glue, semi-solid, but I'm going to let that set up. The next part of this is putting the phone holder on. And I think I'm going to let this sit. Tomorrow's another day. I'm going to take my glue in that isn't destroyed yet and let it warm up overnight. And then I'll be back out tomorrow, you know, because that's another day. And we'll go from there. Okay, so I have made some progress on this. It's actually Monday. I didn't come out Sunday and work on it. I kicked back and watch a hockey game. Anyway, because I'm such a good YouTuber, I forgot to film this. Sorry. What was going to be the phone bed, I got that cut down to the final width and got it sanded. I'm sanding all of this before I'm putting it together. And I had a scrap. Look, here it is. It's actually almost done. Sorry. I'll hold that up. There's a little shelf that the phone will set on. And I checked her phone to make sure it's going to work because that'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? And that's basically just, it's glued to this side. I currently have 2 pin nails in it, but I think I might put another one in there. Matter of fact. Two more for good measure. But that's what it's going to be. Phone, watch is going to hold here. Phone's going to sit there. So I'm just going to run through, do a final sanding, get some stain on it because this video goes out tomorrow morning. I have to put finish on it. I don't know what kind of finish. This is a water-based polyurethane that oddly enough isn't frozen. Maybe we'll try that. I don't know. I have some spray. Oh, I have some spray polyurethane in there that would work. But for right now, I'm going to get that glue mark out. I'm going to go over it, make sure everything's rounded off and ready for stain. So we're going to start with that glue though before it gets all nasty. Okay, as is with anything that is built for my wifey Pooh, if you watch the channel for a while, you already know this. It's going to be provincial. That's her favorite color. Her favorite wood color. Her favorite color is yellow, maybe? I don't know. Guys, find out your wife's favorite color. Okay, so in all honesty, I'm going to rush this, which I don't recommend. But if you're going to stain this, give this, really, I always wait overnight before I put finish on it. But I ain't got the time, folks. I just ain't. Plus, I got a meeting tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and put poly on this now because I need to get it done. Again, I'm using a water base satin, which is not my favorite. I'm not a big fan of water base, but it's what I got. I got it cheap. And as you know me, if it's cheap, it's right up my alley. Now, this is going to be a little bit more difficult because I'm not wiping it on. And the first coat is just really just to get finish on it. I am not worried about what the first coat looks like. Okay. Normally this dries in an hour or so, but given that it's 57 degrees out. Oh, heat wave. I'm still going to give that a couple hours. The next thing you're going to see is with it all set up. In the charging hole for the watch, I'm only putting one coat in because while it's urethane, it still adds thickness to that hole. And I've got that so it fits pretty well, and I don't want to mess that up. So I'll throw another coat on this, let that dry, put it into service. All right, folks, there you go. Pretty simple project. Pretty quick project too, actually, now that I know the design that I would want to use for it. I have almost no material wrapped up in this, and it's a scrap wood project. Who doesn't like a good scrap wood project? The material I used was just what I had on hand. It was already milled down to 3/8 material, which really is about all you really need for something like this. And as you can see, the watch sits on there and it hangs, taking the charger out. It hangs on the charger, which is just a little bit proud. So we know that that's going to charge when it's on there. This wire, this notch here in this is not to be used when you're charging your phone. It's actually when you disconnect the phone, you set it in there like it is now, and then you're not fishing for the wire next time you need it. It's already there. But again, I'm happy with it. It came out really well. More importantly, the wifey Pooh's happy with it. Happy wife, happy life. Hey folks, thanks for hanging out with me in the shop. I do appreciate it. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. God bless.